on a week with some number ones, with some very interesting books, with some books that don't necessarily fit in the cookie cutter world, and covering all genres. It is a great comic book week for New Comic Book Day. And of course, comic book fans, I'm Rich from fanlightzone.com here for the New Comic Book Day kickoff show for the week of 2/25/26. And of course, we are brought to you by fanlightzone.com. That's right. Head on over to fanlightzone.com every New Comic Book Day at 9 a.m. for all of our wonderful New Comic Book Day reviews, as well as follow us on all of the social medias so you can get all of those great video reviews that we put up as well. And of course, you're going to want to make sure for this video and others, you are subscribed to the Fanlight Zone YouTube channel. While you're there, you might as well click that bell icon for notifications and click that thumbs up to help us gather and destroy the algorithm and get to more people. But we're here to talk New Comic Book Day. But before we can do that, I have to lay down the ground rules for Fanlight Zone's New Comic Book Day kickoff. And those ground rules are simple. First and foremost, this is not every book that's coming out on New Comic Book Day. We don't have the time. I mean, let's be honest. I don't know if you guys, maybe you guys do. Put in the comments if you want me to cover every book that's coming out. But there's a lot of books. So these are only the books that myself and the Fanlight Zone team have put together. It's like our pull list, if you will. This is all it is. It's kind of like a pull list where we come together, we pick out books every week, and we tell you what we think of them. With that being said, if we missed a book that you love, just let us know. I'm a comic book fan. I want to read more things. I have never, that's part of this. The great part of this show is, sharing with each other our fandoms, our books, things that we like. So make sure you hit it in the comments. Tell us the books, because then I can check it out and maybe it'll make the pull list. It's next time around. Then also, these are only books that come out on February 25th of 2026. We don't do the trade paperbacks. We don't do, re-releases or anything that's going back to print. We also don't cover the things that come out on we do Comixology Tuesday for the Comixology books because they drop on Tuesday. So this is only for things that come out on New Comic Book Day. So if you're missing something like that, it's not that we forgot it. It's just that we're only covering the books that come out on February 25th of 2026 for this video. Also, and last, but certainly not least, this is a safe space, if you will. We want to have good conversations with people. So like I said earlier, if there's a book that we missed, make sure you leave it in the comments because we want to go ahead and we want to read that, and other comic book fans might want to read it as well. But don't insult anybody. Don't talk smack to anybody because you never know. You might have more in common than what you think. And this is a place where we should all get together and celebrate comic books and why we should read different things. Also, on top of that, when I do the list, it's not in any order. There is no particular order other than the fact that we start with the indies, we move to the big two, and then we do the pick of the week for each member of Fanlight Zone. Outside of that, there is no order. So don't think that just because I mentioned something first that it's the best or last, that it was the worst. It's nothing like that. And if your book is forgotten, once again, that is not a slight either. It is just the fact that, once again, in the sake of time and a video, we want to make sure we're covering and giving you as much details as possible. So without further ado, I will stop pontificating about rules and such and dive right into the comic books. And we are going to start off in the indies, and we are going to start off with some number ones. Speaking of number ones, from IDW Publishing, it's The Rocketeer, The Island number one, based on stories by Dave Stevens. This book is written by John Layman, art by Jacob Edgar. And oh boy, this is a fun book. If you want to talk about a fun book, of course, if you're familiar with The Rocketeer, somebody my age, you remember the movie. You might even remember some of the comic book runs or the books. But this is right in that vein. The Rocketeer, Cliff Secord, is on the hunt for Amelia Earhart. That's right. This deals with the disappearance of Amelia Earhart, and the Rocketeer has to go save the day. But it's got some very cool surprise pop culture guests. I'm not going to give anything away, but I will give you clues. There might be some spinach and pipes. There might be a little bit of, British humor. There's a lot of cool stuff in this book, and I think you're going to want to check it out. This issue one, a lot of fun. This is more of a family style book. So if you did want to get something into the family, like if you're, worried about your kids and stuff reading, this is a good choice. I'm a big fan of it. I can't wait to see where this story goes. So it gives a big thumbs up to me from me. So go check out The Rocketeer, The Island number one. Let's move on to something a little more adult. However, also a number one from Mad Cave Studios is Ted OK, number one, Dave Chisholm, on both the writing and the art in this book. As you can tell by that cover, is pretty trippy, and it deals with paranoia. It's a kind of a thriller. It's set in a world where you have the right to be paranoid. Doesn't that sound familiar? And as our main characters go through, they're dealing with different things that may be in their head, maybe outside their head, and maybe bigger conspiracies. You'll have to stay tuned to find out. First issue sets up the story beautifully. Once again, this is more of an adult story. I don't think it's something that necessarily the kids should be reading. However, I do dig this a lot. Another big one on the list here. Thumbs up, number one. Go check it out. Great place to jump on. If you're looking for something different in particular, this is the book for you. Is Ted OK is a great name. I got to throw this out there. 2 weeks in a row for Mad Cave Studios. Last week it was Florida Hippopotamus Cocaine Massacre number one. This week is Ted OK number one. They're doing some really cool stuff and real original stuff over at Mad Cave Studios. So if you're looking for something outside the superhero realm, Mad Cave Studios is Ted OK number one, may be for you. Let's talk about something else that's outside of your norms, and that, of course, is the power fantasy number 16 from Image Comics. Karan Jillian and the writing, Casper Wingegard on the art, and oh boy, if you have not been checking out the power fantasy, this is the end of this arc. We've been told that they're going to be continuing on, so that is good news. But this is the end of this arc, and oh boy, this is a banger. If you are looking for something that's different, the art is amazing, the writing is amazing. This is the book for you. Head out, get the trade paperback. I know that the latest volume won't be out right away, but it will be out. Go check this out if you can get the back issues. The Power Fantasy has been fantastic. It's a book that I really, really think that if you're looking for something, once again, outside of that normal superhero realm, is a book for you. Not saying it's completely outside, but it's not exactly. And there's a trend here because the next one up is a big title, but it's in the superhero realm, adjacent, if you will. And that, of course, is Capes number 4, Robert Kirkman on the writing, Mark Engler on the art. This comes to you from Skybound Entertainment and Image Comics. And if you have Capes is from the world of Invincible, if you didn't know, and in that world, we get some really cool stuff. This is basically if you don't know, in a nutshell, it is heroes that work at an office building for Heroes for Hire. And, not only do we get the normal hero stuff where you're saving the day, doing heroic things, but you also get the behind the scenes stuff like the love affairs and, the water cooler chat and all of the things that, kind of tie into everyday life. Once again, from the world of Invincible. So if you dig Invincible, this is right up your alley. You're going to like this as well. Very good book. Every issue to me seems to get better and better. And I can't wait to see where it goes. There is some stuff coming up on the horizon that we do know of that's going to also tie into the Invincible versus game and everything else. So once again, if you have not been checking out Capes, you should probably go check out Capes. There's 3 issues out before this, but start now. Jump in. Just dive right in. It's an easy story to pick up. If you can grab the other copies, go ahead and do so as well. But yeah, Capes number 4, another great book if you're looking for a little something different. Let's move right along to a book that is near and dear to my heart. As you know, here on the Fanlight Zone YouTube channel, we have 607 TWS, The Wrestling Show, every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, hosted by myself, co-hosted by Miss Sammy. And we talk pro wrestling. So pro wrestling and comics, I love them. And when you mix the two together, you get Wrestle Heist number 3, written and art by Kyle Starks from Image Comics. And this is a must if you are a wrestling fan. But even if you're not, this is such an entertaining book. If you're a wrestling fan, you're going to pick up on some of the analogies that are made to like real life people. Like, let me put the image back on the screen. The villain of this story, Buddy Hansen, looks a lot like one Paul E. Dangerously. I'm just going to throw it out there. Paul Heyman, a little bit. You can kind of see it there. But there's other analogies to different stories from around the world of wrestling. You can tell that Kyle Starks really must love the medium, and it shows in that. The art is cool. It's more cartoonish, so it's super fun. And the story's cool. It's just wrestlers trying to heist, trying to get back at an evil promoter. and they're going to heist his biggest show of the year. We're building up to the heist and all the things are happening. The book this issue ends on a great cliffhanger. It's a real fun book. Like I said, if you're a wrestling fan, this is a definitely slam dunk pick for you. If you are not a wrestling fan, this is still a very good pick because it's super duper entertaining. We're going to move on now over into the world of the big two, and we're going to start off with DC Comics this week, and more specifically, DC Comics Vertigo line as The Peril of the Brutal Dark, an Ezra Kane mystery #1 hits the shelves this week, written by Chris Condon, art by Jacob Phillips, and of course, you might know these two from That Texas Blood, and of course, the Enfield Gang Massacre, which was super cool. And this is right in that vein. Of course, Ezra Kane takes place in the 1940s. Kind of supernatural detective vibe to it, and that's kind of what's going on in this story. Art is fantastic, writing is fantastic. This is one of those books that, Vertigo has kind of hit a home run coming back and launching the books that they did in the month of February. This is the last book of the month of February, launching of the first original 4. And as the other 3, this one is a must. I am going to the comic shop, getting my copy. Trust me on this. You're going to want to pick it up as well. Very high praise from the editor-in-chief himself, Ken M. So go check this book out at the shops this week. While you're also there from DC Comics, we got Absolute Martian Manhunter #9, Dennis Camp writing, Javier Rodriguez on the art. And listen, Absolute Batman is the darling of the show. And I understand Absolute Wonder Woman is also high up. But for my money, Absolute Martian Manhunter is my second favorite Absolute book on the market right now. It is sad. It was sad hearts that they're going to be pausing it in the not too distant future. That was announced after Comics Pro this week. Kind of hurt my heart, and I know there was an outpouring, so much so that Dennis Camp is I don't know, maybe we'll get a reversal on this. Maybe, please, Dennis, please, because Absolute Martian Manhunter has been so good. If you're a fan of Dennis Camp's wild writing, this is the book for you. Listen, I think that this is one of the most underrated books on the shelf that DC's putting out, and trust me, if you give it a shot, you're going to fall in love with it. I promise you. You notice that we have done quite a few #1s. So as we go over to Marvel Comics, there's another #1 because over at Marvel, they have Predator Bloodshed #1, written by Jordan Morris, art by Roland Bashee. This is a Predator book, and this is the latest in the line of the 20th century books. It's hard for me not to say 20th Century Fox. That's showing my age, I know, but I know it's just 20th century now. But 20th century teaming with Marvel, of course, both Disney companies. We've had a lot of stuff. We had Alien and Captain America. We've had the Fantastic Four and of course Planet of the Apes, which is continuing on. And now we have a Predator line, period. This is Predator Bloodshed. This is a tournament. And our Predator is in a tournament for a fight to the death with other badasses from around the universe. And, it seems like tournaments are all the zane these days. But this one is a little more adult, a little more gore. We're finding that this partnership with 20th Century, with Marvel, they're not afraid to go there. Like I said, in the vein, if you were reading Captain America Alien, that crossover, a lot of violence, a lot of gore. You're going to get the same here in Predator Bloodshed. So if you're a Predator fan or you're just a fan of like really cool fighting tournament stuff, this is going to be a sure pickup at the local comic shop this week. Staying in the House of Marvel, we have Spider-Man and Wolverine #10, one of my favorite books on the market, by the way, written by Mark Guggenheim with art by Gerardo Sandoval and Victor Neva. And listen, we just came off the first arc. Our heroes are back, and they have a lot to fix still. Listen, this is a fun book. There's a lot of cool action in it. The art is great. There's been some really, really cool use of villains and even some original villains in this series. Once again, cannot stress this enough. This is a great book. Mark Guggenheim doing an amazing job. And then, like I said, the art from Nava and Sandoval just really crushing. The whole team is coming together. If you are a fan of Wolverine, Spider-Man, this is going to be for you. You are getting both of them at their they're charmed, if you will, and also just kicking some serious butt out there. We have one more Marvel book before we get into the top picks, and it's a big one because it is Iron Man #2, written by Joshua Williamson, Carmen Carnero on the art, and wow, this has been a banger. Of course, Joshua Williamson debuted his run for Iron Man last month. Really caught everybody, off guard and kind of like, hey, we're going to be doing something different. That continues here in this issue. We still have some surprises around the corner. There's some things being set up. There's some puppet masters in the background. This is a great book. If you want to dive in, it just started. It is a perfect time to dive in. If you're an Iron Man fan, if you're a Joshua Williamson fan, you're just going to love this book. Really cool stuff going on. I'm a big fan, and I cannot wait to get my hands on my copy at the shop because it is on my pull list and probably should be on yours. Speaking of pull list, we are now on the Fanlight Zone picks of the week. So I'm going to go over each member of the FanlightZone.com comics team and what they picked for their favorite book of the week. Once again, this does not mean it's better than every other book. It's just the flavor that the creator chose. And we're going to start off with Joey from the So Wizard podcast. And of course, if you know him and you know there's a Conan book on the shelf, it's probably going to be his #1. And that's right, Conan the Barbarian, #29, Jim Zub, Doug Braithwaite, Titan Comics. And listen, he is a champion of the Conan the Barbarian line, and you should be getting used to that on the show. And I don't blame him. Very good stuff. Once again, if you're looking for more of an adult comic, Conan the Barbarian is for you. Really cool stuff. They just finished up an arc last issue, so now we're kind of getting onto a new arc, so it's a perfect jump on point. If you have not been checking out Conan and what they've been doing with Conan over at Titan, this is a great time to jump on and check that out because you will not be disappointed. Speaking of no-brainers here, Josh, aka Padawan J from the ODPH podcast, as well as Fanlight Zone. His pick this week, if you know him, he's a huge Star Wars fan, but he's also a huge Spider-Man fan. And to nobody's surprise, his pick of the week is Spider-Man Venom Death Spiral #1, written by Charles Soule, Al Ewing, Joe Kelly, and Jesus Sayas on the art. Marvel Comics is where we land here. So it's one of the few Marvel books that is on the picks of the week. And this book is interesting. Spider-Man and Venom teaming up to hunt down a new serial killer symbiote. Yeah, that's right. For once, it's not Carnage. However, Carnage has some information that might shed some light on a lot of things. Once again, great book. Charles Soule is a great writer. I'm not surprised that, once again, Padawan J picked it. He loves Star Wars. Charles Soule does a lot of Star Wars stuff and also now this. And he's a huge Spider-Man fan. So this is like a perfect storm for him. But I've been assured by Josh that this is a great book, that you should check it out. It is a #1. So, of course, as always, #1s, easy jump on spots. Go check it out. If it wasn't already on your list, the LCS is calling your name. We're going to do things a little differently here. Usually I give my pick last, but I'm going to give my pick first because Ken M's pick, the editor-in-chief's pick, is also a pick that is unanimous amongst all of us here because all of us have gotten a chance to take a look at this and we're all excited for it. But before I get to that little tease there, let's go with my pick. And my pick this week is Universal Monsters Phantom of the Opera #1, written by Tyler Boss, art by Martin Simmons, Skybound Entertainment, Image Comics, of course, in correlation with Universal Studios, if you will. And listen, this is fantastic. If you love the Universal Monster stuff that they've done so far, this is right up your alley. If you love the artwork from Department of Truth, you know Martin Simmons is bringing it here with a unique take, and it looks gorgeous. And if you like that thriller horror writing of Tyler Boss, you're in for a treat. It's like the perfect storm is coming together. Of course, a tale as old as time. I mean, it's almost pretty much 100-year-old story, and they are crushing it in this one. Great backstory. It's that first issue. We really get to kind of like see the unease and everything going on and where we're going to be going. But they do bring the horror. They bring some really awesome art, and they bring elements that are laying the groundwork for what is to come in this series in this first issue. Super good, super awesome. Hell, and if you want to learn more about it, head over. Well, actually, you don't even have to head over. You're right here on the YouTube channel for Fanlight Zone. Go check out our interview. Actually, my interview that I did with Tyler Boss and Martin Simmons for this book. It's on there already. Go check that out. It's a great interview, speaking more of what this book is about. It does more justice than I can. But as a fan, as somebody who's read it, and as somebody who's written the review for it, oh man, it's just mwah, kiss. I'm a horror fan, and I love what they're doing with the Universal Monsters. And this book is fantastic. Speaking of fantastic, we are at the last pick, and I already teased it. This is the editor-in-chief, Ken M's pick. But as a side note, this was the pick from every member of Fanlight Zone. We just had to mix it up and get some other picks in there because we all came together for this one, because this is not just a great comic book from what we've read, how it is also a great moment in history, because we are picking new history of the DC Universe, the Dakota Incident #1, written by Morgan Hampton, Joseph Illidge, Nicholas Draper Ivey, and Stephanie Williams from DC Comics as this week's pick for Ken M and also for the entire team. If you're not familiar with this is the love letter to Milestone Comics, one of the most influential and really, really groundbreaking comic book groups that ever came out. Of course, distributed by DC back in the day, gave us some great heroes. And we're going to revisit and give a love story to those heroes here. And it's very important, you know, especially on Black History Month, to really look at creators who have done such a great job, especially not just for, you know, for every culture, because basically Milestone wasn't just Black owned, in which is important in its own, but it was also an all-inclusive brand that really wanted diversity. That was really what they were going for, diversity across the board, and they nailed that. If I really suggest going to check out, so there's some really cool creators right now making some videos about Milestone. You should check it out because it's super, super cool. And obviously I can't do it the justice that a lot of other people can. However, this book, phenomenal. And DC has laid down the gauntlet and said if 100,000 copies of this are sold, that they will then make an ongoing Static Shock series. So the challenge is go out and read it. And by the way, the book is fantastic. It is amazing. It is going to have you flipping through, and it's just it's an amazing one shot. And I hope it leads to more, because there's so many great characters that we could go with, not just Static, but so many more. So check out this book. Let's hit that goal. As a whole, let's hit the goal. I know I'll be picking this up. I've already called the shop. I've already got mine waiting for me. This is super, super, super cool. And the writing is phenomenal. Some great creators on this one. You're not going to want to miss it. We put the biggest stamp. We get the 2 thumbs up, biggest stamp of approval on this one. This is something you need in your collection now. So when you're at the LCS, if this was already not on the list, add it now. You will not be disappointed. I promise you that much. Well, we have come to the end of yet another new comic book day week kickoff. And I can't say, there's a lot of stuff that I'm super stoked and excited about. I hope you are too. Hit it up in the comments. Let me know what books you're getting this week. Let me know what you thought about the books that I talked about. And most importantly, like I said, always leave me ones I should be reading, especially coming into the upcoming weeks and everything else. We always want to hear from you. And that's how us as fans get along and move together and keep this art form, you know, so vibrant, the one that we so much love. So this week, celebrate your love at the shops. Grab these great books. Grab whatever other books that you're grabbing. And also make sure you head on over to fanlightzone.com starting at 9 a.m. on New Comic Book Day Wednesday. You have all of our reviews up. So 9 a.m., all of them are up. See what we thought about all the books that made this list, plus many more. Also, make sure you're following us on the social medias, because starting at 9:30 and going every hour, so 9:30, 10:30, 11:30, etc., there will be video reviews being put up by us as well. And then last but not least, there'll also be a shorts, but you're going to want to catch New Comic Book Day Kickoff every week, as well as all the great interviews we're doing. We have a great one up right now for the Kickstarter for Marcus Walker, Kingslayer Protocol from our good friend Chris Yates. So you want to check that out and support that as well as all the other great stuff up there. I mentioned earlier, Tyler Boss Martin Simmons interview is up there for Phantom of the Opera #1. So check that out as well over on the Fanlight Zone. Well, right here on the Fanlight Zone YouTube channel. I'm so used to saying it in different ways in other videos. And make sure while you're here, you smash that subscribe button, click the bell icon for notifications, and hit the thumbs up to tell the algorithm you want more Fanlight Zone right in front of you. So until we see each other at the shops, enjoy New Comic Book Day, enjoy all the great books you're going to pick up, and most importantly, enjoy the fandom. If you see somebody in the shop, make sure you talk to them about what you're reading, because that's the best part about going to the shop. I love talking to people and finding out what they're reading. They find out what I'm reading, and maybe you can find your new love from somebody else. And if you're not doing that in the shop, do that in our comment section, because I want to build this community, and that's what comic books are all about. So at the end of the day, folks, thank you so much. Enjoy New Comic Book Day, and I'll catch you later.